Our speakers know the drill. You've all seen it. You really have got 10 minutes. All of you have got slides for more than 10 minutes. I warned you, 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes only. After 10 minutes, there's a few minutes for questions. Please, audience, put your questions through to us. I don't know, as I stand here now, how many online people we still got. We're averaging about 50. So you're speaking to us in the room and also to the online audience. Are we all settled in? Can we get going? Adam, you've been ready for 3 minutes.
I'm ready,
you don't get extra time. Over to you. Please tell us your story.
Thanks. Appreciate it. It's late on day 2, but strap yourself in and enjoy the story. So we're an ASX-listed junior explorer focused on developing the Didi Gold Project in Côte d'Ivoire. So the board, a few well-known ASX names in the junior space: Evan Cranston, Tolga Kamova. Sylvia Botero's come as a part of a strategic investment from Montage Gold Group. She's accredited with 15 million ounces of reserve discovery in West Africa. We've got about 11 million cash in the bank, so fully funded for execution of our exploration program. Roughly $77 million market cap. It's gone up a bit in the last few days. This is the deal that we recently did. So Montage Gold Group, a $1.5 billion Canadian development company who are developing the Côte gold prospect in Côte d'Ivoire, 300 kilo ounces per year, so a massive deposit. They've taken 19.9% of us, along with the Loubser family. It's a similar deal to the, I don't know if you guys have heard the Sanu Gold story out of Guinea, but we're essentially a bit of a sister exploration company to Montage now. Our projects are focused in Côte d'Ivoire. We've got one Didi, which is right near Yamoussoukro. Beautiful roads. I can drive out to site. I stay in the capital. And Cote, I don't really talk about it much because Didi is such a standout. But Cote is a massive 18-kilometre long soil anomaly in a really fertile greenstone belt that has never been drill tested. And we'll get in there later this year. But we've got 4.9 million tonnes at 2.9 grams per tonne for 450,000 ounces. That was the maiden resource. We're quite strategically located, so Yaouré, which is Perseus, Bonikro and Agbao are all within trucking distance of our mine. But we believe we've got the multi-million ounce potential, but it's nice to have optionality. And as you can see, what they're processing is of lower grade, and they've also got capacity in the mills. This is just some of the infrastructure in Côte d'Ivoire. It's a very well-developed country. There's 8 operating gold mines, so we get to leverage off all of that infrastructure. But in saying that, a lot of the land was privately held previously, so more dollars in the ground. We're finding many more ounces, and there's plenty more to come. This is what got Montage excited. So the Bluffo Guedo's the maiden resource on our Didi project. High-grade intercepts, you look at some of these, 43 metres at 4.3, 65 at 5.6. These are sort of head-turning grades. Almost 2 kilometres of strike, open at depth. And yeah, recent drilling's really pointing towards a much larger system. We've just finished a 9,500 metre program that will feed, waiting on results, that will feed straight into a significant resource update. Best way to find deposits in West Africa, or Africa in general, is artisanal workings. So fair chance if they're digging it out by hand, there's probably some gold there. Côte d'Ivoire's pretty much outlawed all of the artisanals, so we don't have any social license issues or anything like that. We're good to go, and you can see there's no cropping or anything like that. This is where the multi-million ounce potential comes in. We've got 11 drill-ready targets on the Didi tenure. Bluffo Guedo is where the MRE is. To the east of that, we drilled the Poku Trend, which is a 9-kilometre long soil anomaly. We hit 110 metres at 0.5. Within that, some really strong intercepts of 0.7 and 0.6. So that's more your bulk tonnage, lower grade, typical West African story. And then 11 kilometres to the north, along strike, we're seeing very similar mineralisation to Didi, where it's that narrow, stacked, high-grade loads at the Pranoi prospect. So, we've only tested a small amount of these regional prospects. We're coming up with economic results. You start adding up the strikes and widths of these, it becomes pretty apparent that there's a lot more ounces on the tenure. There's just a few schematics of where Poku trends located. You can see we sort of hit 300 metres of continuous strike, and it's just such a small section of the 9 kilometre long soil anomaly. Similar here, this is the Prenoia prospect. You've got 600 metres of continuous mineralisation over a 1.8 kilometre strike, open at depth, open to the east. Plenty more to come from there. It's just prioritising our drill targets. We use, here's just some, happy snaps from the ground. Côte d'Ivoire, very easy to get people, drilling contractors. It's just a great place to do business. I've touched on Conahiri before, but yeah, you can see 18 kilometre long soil anomaly. We've done initial soil testing that proved up the anomaly. We're going to get it back in there, do some more soils, and plan the first drill program, which will be later this year. So key value drivers for us, we've got assays coming from the remainder of that program that we just completed the next few weeks. We're going to do some strategic M&A around our existing portfolio. So particularly at Didievi, we're looking to tie in the neighbouring tenements to the north and also to the southwest, and that will give us roughly 75 kilometres of continuous strike. So you start, once again, it's quite a big zone, sort of almost belt scale opportunity. Resource update, so I've been saying July, hopefully it might be a little bit sooner, but we're looking to really increase the size of that resource, and with that comes improved economics. And for us, if you look at where the current gold price is and you're doing a toll treating operation, it doesn't take a lot to generate significant amount of cash, particularly in the near term. Montage were able to get all of their permitting done within 12 months, so theoretically, if we're not building a plant, we could be breaking ground in 14 months. And that's what leads into the next. So we're going to be progressing our license. We'll start the environmental studies and the rest of it that goes along. And then, yeah, the first holes out of Conahiri will also drive a great bit of news flow. Why us? We've got a high-grade resource, close to surface, all open pittable, near established infrastructure. I mean, neurology is great if you don't have to build a $300 million plant. That's just more money in your back pocket. There's 8 million tonnes of processing capacity, all within sealed roads. Even where we're valued at now, there's still a lot of room to run. Peers that are also operating in the country are valued at multiples of where we are. And we think with the pipeline of projects and also news flow throughout the rest of the year, there's significant room for us to continue, particularly with the support of Montage. I was in America last week, part of their marketing tour, and that was led to some of the growth that we've had this week. So getting in front of the right people, getting the story out there, it's a great story to tell. Gold's good, Côte d'Ivoire's great. Yeah, that's about it. 8 minutes.
I like it when a guy has done this before, no? Okay, so you woke up the miners, not the geologists here. What's your current cut-off grade?
For the resource?
I don't know.
1 gram for the maiden resource was a 1 gram cut-off, so quite high. As the resource update, it won't be 1. That was a bit safe, I think. We're still, with the resource update, we're going to release a substantial increase. The grade will be slightly lower, the cut-off will be a bit lower, but we still want to keep that high-grade nature, particularly if we're doing a toll treating operation. Just
people, you make me ask weird questions. Eh? I mean, will you sell gold forward to minimize future price risk?
I don't think we'll need to. No, we won't be doing a hedging strategy.
You're so young. I mean, when I was a gold miner, the issue of whether you were a hedger or a non-hedger divided you into two camps, and you got killed in the middle. So,
Well, you only, in my books, you only want to hedge if you have a, in a substantial construction.
so you don't think it's...
Yeah, the banks will make you do it. So unless we take a longer-term view of the tenement and drill 5 million ounces and build a nice big plant, then you might bring in a hedging strategy. But if we're toll treating or semi-processing on site before processing somewhere else, I think the capital outlay will be pretty reasonable.
Mm. What near-term production do you have available, or is it all deep?
It's all from surface, so
Yeah, I thought so, but sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
The deepest sort of vertical hole that we've had is about 250 metres. So yeah, at the moment we've still got open along strike and also to the sort of east and west extents of our deposits. So we're not really targeting that deeper underground portion of the resource yet.
So the pictures made me think that you had some sort of local mining taking place there.
Historically.
And what happened to the people that used to mine there?
Well, Côte d'Ivoire, other than a select group of local operators, so in Mali and Burkina you have a lot of Chinese and Burkinabes cross borders. So unless there's a small number in country of local non-mechanised mining that takes place, but all the rest of it has been outlawed essentially.
And on your site?
It hasn't happened for about 8 years or something.
Ah, okay, so you've got proper access and control of your site.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of if any unsavouries do rock up, you can just call the government and they'll have them out within the week.
What is your capital payback period?
We haven't done any feasibility studies yet. We're in a resource development / exploration because we haven't really gotten into those regional prospects yet. We're still just focusing on the main game, which is Bluff-Aguedo. And then, as we get the opportunity, and now we have a lot bigger funding, we can also unlock this regional sort of earlier stage exploration.
So if you think that was like my God, I haven't even done a feasibility study. What is this question? Listen to the next one from Guy Richards. What is the life of mine, and is there a closure strategy? I love that.
No,
Guy, come on.
Yeah. Well, I think you always want some scale, but depending on what strategy we go. But if you have 1 million ounces, 100,000 ounces a year, that's 10 years life of mine. So, how long's a piece of string?
Sorry, did I laugh? No. I mean, I fully appreciate. It's not yet where you are. Build a mine, and then you'll have a life of mine of 10 years for a few years.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you. I mean, apart from the accent, which we are struggling with, I mean, everything else you talk to, we really appreciate. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming to share. Have you done your deed, audience? Your link didn't work. Where's Madam ENS? I couldn't get in on that. This one should work. They tell you they're going to invest, but this is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, get them a beer and test whether they're really going to invest. I'm not surprised. I think you tell a compelling story. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Did anybody come right with this link? Have you tried? Oh, okay. Then it's me. I'll try again. Okay. Come. What do you think? This is a holiday farm, eh? I mean, you take 20 years to start a mine. Now you want to come and take 20 minutes to tell us about it.
Is this thing on? Yeah.
Loubser,
I've got 1 minute extra because it's now.
You've got 10. I make the rules, so shut up and talk. You've got 10 minutes exactly.
Good afternoon, everyone. In self-defense, I had no PowerPoint prepared. And then Wilma Aland harassed me. I thought I would be the only guy without a PowerPoint, so I'm going to try and not kill you with my numbers. I'm just going to give you a brief background, probably on myself, and then we'll talk about Kropz. But understanding the background will help you understand my and our strategy for Kropz. In 1993, I did not know what the word carpe diem meant. And the following year, in Standard 7, the question was asked again, and I knew it was seize the day. Problem was, I did not know what seize the day meant. So forward to 2009, and the lecturer is telling me that good leaders fail forward, and they fail fast. And I look with probably this face, and I say, what type of good leader fails and fails forward? And most likely, I did not understand the term. I probably got a mark for answering it, but I did not understand the term. This is 2009, fast forward to 2018. I go to a coal colliery where Mr. Swanepoel was briefly my boss. Yeah, I think he still thinks he is when you listen to him. But
Yeah, we haven't decided who fired whom, so that's unresolved. So just move on.
I get to a coal colliery. I'm coming from FMAT, the track record of success, turnaround companies, exponential growth. I know exactly how to turn a mine around. And in month 1, when I didn't hit the target, I thought, no problem. It's take 3 months to get out of the old, and it'll take 6 months to see my impact. So when month 7, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24 happens of missing targets consistently, you start taking it personally. And in that time, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was there's only 2 ways to cross the finish line of the comrades. The one is you finish it yourself, or the other one is you finish it in an ambulance. But there's 2 ways to get into the ambulance. The one is you quit, and the other one is you wake up in the ambulance. And the only important thing is when you're in a tough and difficult position is to give the next step. And this was Mr. Swanepoel's advice to me, and I was desperate for that advice. And I saw no future. I saw no turning around. And from month 25 to 36, we managed to make this small little mine profitable. And we were the first team and the only team to be profitable for 1 month and then 12 months consecutively. So after a dismal performance for about 2 years, in the end, we managed to turn it around. And that is why I am probably at Kropz today. It would be a fool to take on the job 2.5 years ago. I've been there now for 2 years and 5 months. And why Kropz? I'm going to give you a rundown, and I know everyone's desperate to start talking about the national park next to us. But just a brief introduction to Kropz.
You can leave that for the questions. I'm sure the questions will take you there.
I'm sure it'll be covered.
Yeah.
It's a phosphate deposit. It is built on the west coast close to Saldanha, so it's well positioned for Africa. And we still think it's a great opportunity. This is where we are on the Cape, and then we also have a project in Hinda, a well-defined ore body with in excess of 600 million tons. It's well defined, and we are actually looking for a big brother to come and assist us for that project. The Congo project is at this stage planned for 1 million ton for phase 1, and then to ramp up to stage 4 to 4 million tons. This is our South African mine, Elandsfontaine. It's 40 kilometers from the port, so it's a nice logistic solution. It's a great location now, understanding export. It's a great location to export, especially to the east. You're probably $10 to $15 cheaper on freight coming from West Africa, and you don't have the storms, the tropical storms. That's for about 2 months. That's a logistical nightmare from West Africa. Our rock is a 30% P2O5. We've come up from 28, something, 29. We're now at 30. At 31, you start getting a premium for it, and at 32, a much bigger premium. There's no nasties, no cadmiums, no nothing, and it's got great ratios as it is. This is just to give you an indication of what the plant looked like, and the highlighted colors are phase 2 of when we did a retrofit to the plant. It was before my time, but it just gives you an indication. How do we do our job? Well, 2 years LTI free. I think we're quite serious on the whole. I mentioned ESG, and someone said it should be sustainability management, but we're quite serious of how we operate, and we'll show that now. This is just to give you an indication of what the pit looks like. It's about 1.4 kilometers, and we mine top to bottom with a 3-to-1 strip ratio, and on this picture from right to left. This is what the ore looks like. Typically, it's a minus 400 plus 75 micron phosphate that we are trying to recover. ESG. It's not a term, it's something we're trying to do. We've got local employment of 93%. We've spent millions on salaries. And we've experienced firsthand what happens to a community when a mine closes down and opens up again. And I think the best example that I've got of the real impact of a mine, before Kropz, there was one ATM and one bank in Hopefield, the local town. Now there's 4 banks and there's 8 ATMs and there's a Spar and a Spaza shop and etc. And it's just, you can see the tangible impact of the economical benefit. And I think when we talk ESG, where does the S come in? Where's the social impact that you have? Because typically it's only environment or governance. And I think governance, I think we do a good job, but we're quite serious about trying to do this, not necessarily, Patrice must please forgive me, not necessarily for the shareholders, but also to make this project successful for the West Coast. There's nothing else. Water monitoring, this is just to show where we are in location to the lagoon, and it's monitored obviously on a monthly basis, and we've got many third parties that assist in monitoring us and waiting for us to fail. This slide is significant. The top slide shows the water table before Kropz. The bottom slide, you can see that indent, and then the water table rises, and it goes again to the lagoon. It's 2017 and 2024, and ironically, 2024, the water table is actually higher than before we started. So we've got an open invite. We've had 2 open days already for the public, and we've got constant visitors, and anyone is welcome to come and visit us. We've got nothing to hide. There's no skeletons. There might be a few fossils, but no skeletons. Restoration and how we do it, the wording is not important. I said the next slide is more important. It's worth 1,000 words. That's the before and that's the after. And when you drive in, you will see the road. The vegetation is right up to the tar road. And we spent a significant amount of money on restoration. This is obviously in the winter when it's green, in the summer it's brown. It's a winter rainfall area. But you get the idea. Part of the project is called NanoFos. It has the potential to change the local landscape. It's a great reactive product for the local farmer. It's non-chemical, it's organic, and it's got significant upside on it. And we actively started to promote this and sold our first 1,000 tons, and we hope to sell 50, 80,000 tons per annum in South Africa and hopefully grow exports as well. This gives you an indication of the plant and also the soft stockpile. It's quite an old picture. This is our pit 2024. We've started with refilling the pit, and concurrent rehabilitation is ongoing. The stockpile in December, you can see it's rather brown and dusty because it's the end of summer or the highlight of summer. And this is the most recent picture. And if you look on the sides and the vegetation growth, I was raised on a farm about 100 km from Langebaan. I know the area very well. And if you had to tell me before, you're going to rehabilitate this sand, I would have laughed. I promise you, I said, it's not possible. But what they've achieved and how we do it and how we go about it, I think the team is doing truly a super job. This is just our wrong stockpile because of the inconsistency in the pit. We stockpile it before we feed it to the plant. There's another picture of the entire thing, pit on the left. And our direct neighbor to that far left high wall is now the National Park that some of you might have read about. Our legacy, our purpose, in Daniel's pink book, what really motivates people, they say autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is easy, mastery, become the best at what you do, and purpose. And I think for any company, purpose is probably the most difficult to define, because surely it cannot be more profit or 25% compound growth. I think for us, I've touched on it, our purpose is to make this project successful for the West Coast and the impact that it will have there. That's my story, and I've got 20 seconds.
Louis, baie dankie. Thank you. So, when I look at the pictures, it looks like you've mined a lot of stuff. You call it stockpiles. Was there a sequencing problem? I mean, it sounds stupid to mine so much and have it all lying around there. What went wrong there, or what am I missing here?
There's a certain part of the ore body that the plant cannot accommodate, and we are stockpiling about 30%.
So it's really a waste dump that you just call a stockpile?
It's got 16% contained phosphorite in it, so it will be processed afterwards. The intent was to see focus on the bigger part of the asset, and after we need some new technology, possibly ball milling, to put that to the existing plant.
So just from what I've read over the years, there were some technical problems in the plant. You talk about retrofitting. Is that behind you, or are you busy getting it behind you?
Well, I think we will win the prize for the longest ramp-up phase. I think we're now touching on 4 years of ramping up, 2.5 under me. The issue is recovery of the phosphate. Our financial model is at 55%. The reason why we are still struggling is we are hovering between 25 and 40% in terms of recoveries. At 40%, 45% plus, we are massively profitable. Below 30, you are in financial losses. We are feeding the plant. We are getting the tons through the plant. We're not getting our recoveries. So we've made quite a few changes in the last 6 months, and we are hopeful that we will reap the reward in the next few months.
So, I mean, many years ago, Trevor Manuel stood up at the Joburg Indaba and completely off the cuff, and I didn't understand where he came from. He ranted and raved about this project should not be allowed. Subsequently, whenever I read about it, there's the link back to, and this is only happening because of Patrice Motsepe's involvement. So how political is this place? Is Patrice involved? Just give us because I mean, this makes fantastic headlines. This project loves headlines, but not for the right reasons yet.
I can say Patrice is there every day, and he signs everyone in every day. Please
That's
delete that.
That's the Patrice we know. Yeah, we know
No.
Patrice like that. Where's his involvement through ARC? Not
Zero.
zero.
There is zero political, this whole thing that went to the media, it was driven by Kropz. The sad thing about Kropz, if there's 6, 7, 8 components of a business and a mine, I think we will get 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 for logistics, environmental, water management, rehab, all of it, and our recoveries is the issue. So in 2 years and 5 months, we've never once had demurrage, which speaks to, I think, an excellent logistics solution and team. It's just a pocket. But yeah, there's no political assistance, influence, and Patrice is definitely not involved.
So why do you, this is from Brendan Ryan. He told me yesterday he's going to take the microphone and ask you himself. I said, please don't. Why do you want to mine in the West Coast National Park? Is your current resource not adequate?
Yes,
Yes, what?
it's not adequate.
But now, why did you apply to mine
So-
if you knew you couldn't mine in the park?
No, our existing life of mine at this stage is probably still 10 to 12 years. And the ore body is split in two with the line in between. We think there's probably about 200 hectares that we can accommodate into the existing facility. And in exchange, and I think that's the sad part of any conflict, you need some negotiation or engagement. I thought about earlier, in any divorce, there's 3 sides to the story.
Listen
His,
now.
hers, and
the
the
wives
truth.
in the audience, so listen to this divorce conversation.
There's his version, her version, and the truth. And I think we've all seen the media version. Our version is to say our intent and our objective is if we can mine this thing, it gives this project a 20, possibly 25-year life of mine. And in exchange, we will give you more land, our infrastructure, all of it. And if you look at the maps and what we want to propose, I personally think it's a great opportunity to expand the national park and give them more land. So if there was nothing, I think it would have been a difficult discussion. We are already mining there. We've got virtually no, well, the statement is we've got no impact on the aquifer, on the water management. And so when you read the media, this is a brand new mine. This is an existing mine, and we want to expand it by 200 hectares.
Don't become a politician and use up all my time now. I want to quickly ask you, is dust pollution a major issue?
No, not, yeah.
Then I want to go on to the question about, so is the first fertilizer game a form of downstream for you? I mean, who do you currently supply to, and will you supply more into South Africa and the fertilizer game?
So
Just
all
briefly.
our concentrate is exported to primarily Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. And in Australia and New Zealand, they make a SSP, which is a fertilizer product, and Korea upgrades it up to phosphoric acid level. For us to invest in a plant, you need a life of mine. So currently, we cannot invest in downstream because we do not have a life of mine. for that. This is typical of Fosco Richards Bay type plant that you need. So just the licensing will probably take 50 years. I can't see us investing in any downstream at this stage. What we are looking at is value add. The nanofos I spoke about, we are going to turn that hopefully into a high value product that's got some value to the local farmers. And if our market is too small, we are exceptionally well positioned to export to Brazil, which is a massive agricultural market.
So, final question. Why is this project so hated?
I don't know, why do people hate the Blue Bulls? Probably because of the supporters. I'll say probably because of management. Yeah, I think because it's
I don't like your comments about the Blue Bulls. You can sit now.
Why is it hated? Because people don't want to look at facts. And when we have an open day, you say, please engage with the people, our service providers. As I say, if anyone is welcome, my wife asked me now, what if someone asks a question that you cannot answer? It's like, well, I'm not so worried about it because we've got nothing to hide. So it's probably, facts are stranger than fiction. And I think we are doing an exceptional job in terms of water management and environment. Those are the two core issues. But it's not nice to believe that mining can actually do profit, people, and planet, and we're still struggling with the profit part. But in terms of people and planet, I think we do a good job.
Ladies, gentlemen, you've had your chance. Let's see what you said. Definitely going to invest 65%. But this is South Africa, you know what I'm saying.
I would not give my money to those people.
At least the Bravery Award goes to Louis Loubser. Thank you for coming to face the nation. Thank you. You and Brendan can take it offline afterwards. I mean, I want the camera there when Brendan and Louis engage. Last, I hope not the least, eh? We've heard this story a few times. I'm not sure from you, but welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
You've got exactly 10 minutes. Eh?
You've saved the best for last. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be discussing how Bauba Resources has harnessed niche opportunities in chrome and PGM mining in South Africa. Bauba's vision is to be an expanding and diversifying mining company, and we have made great strides in recent years in achieving this. We have 3 key mines: Mooilijk Mine, which is an underground board and pillar LG6 mine, specializing in producing specialty grade concentrates. Our Kookfontein open cast MG mine, which produces both metallurgical grade chrome concentrate and PGM concentrate. And our Knobwam project, which is also planned to be an open cast MG mine, also focusing on a co-product business model as Kookfontein. All our mines are fully licensed, 2 of them in production, 1 of them is currently undergoing site establishment, and our business is cash generative. I'm also pleased to share that our PGM plant at Kookfontein is currently being commissioned and will be operational in next month, June. This highlights our key operational milestones. Each year signifies significant achievement. In 2018, we built the Mooilijk wash plant that focuses on producing specialty grade concentrates, primarily foundry sand, which attracts a strong pricing premium to traditional met-grade concentrate used in stainless steel production. In 2019, we commenced with underground development at Mooilijk. In 2021, we acquired our Kookfontein mine and commenced mining in the same year. In 2023, we acquired our Knobwam mine. In 2024, we commissioned the 80,000 tonne per month wash plant at Kookfontein with the associated tailing storage facility. And in 2025, currently underway, we're commissioning the PGM plant, which will unlock multi-commodity revenue for our Kookfontein mine, and we're also currently undergoing site establishment at Knobwam. So this is our mineral resource growth over the past 5 years. We've had remarkable mineral resource growth of 1,126%, albeit off a small base. This has been achieved through strategic acquisitions and targeted exploration. In 2023, at Kwikfontein, we initiated diamond drilling and trenching, which increased the resource by 16 million tons. And also in the same year, we acquired Knobwam, that had a resource of 18 million tons and 30% chrome. In total, in 2023, our resource jumped by 34 million tons. In 2024, we continued with exploration at both Kwikfontein and Knobwam. At Kwikfontein, our resource increased by 5 million tons, and our grade significantly improved from 26% to 29%, and our PGM grades from 1.2 grams a ton to 1.4 grams a ton. At Knobwam, our resource increased by 13 million tons, and our grades also significantly improved from 30% to nearly 36%, and our PGM grades from 1.65 grams a ton to 1.99 grams a ton. The improvements in grades enhances our competitive edge, and the significant increase in tons enhances our operational capacity. In total, at Feb 2025, our resource now stands at 69 million tons at 33% chrome and 1.7 grams a ton. We also have further upside exploration at both Kwikfontein and Knobwam, and once the underground mining resource, once the open cast resource has been depleted at Knobwam, we're also positive that there's strong prospects for underground mining. The grades at Knobwam are particularly high, and we're very pleased to commence mining there. So in addition to our significant increase in mineral resources, we've been able to convert that into mineral reserves. You will see we have grown our 2025 mineral reserves significantly, with an improvement in grades too. In terms of the value of these reserves, at current chrome pricing, which is $300 a ton for 42% benchmark, and an exchange rate, a US dollar exchange rate of 18.50, then converted back to a mine gate price that translates to nearly 45 billion rand over our life of mine. Our PGM revenue at 25,000 rand for 4E basket price translates to 10 billion rand in revenue over our life of mine. The PGM revenue may seem modest in relation to our chrome revenue, but the profits are significant or exceptional from processing PGMs from tailings, as they carry limited additional costs and have a strong flow through to your bottom line. Our current life of mine at Knobwam is until 2037, but we plan to do further exploration work to increase the inferred resource, the confidence of the resource, and that could extend it to 2047. At Kwikfontein, our life of mine is planned until 2036, if no further exploration success is achieved. And at Moeilik, the mine is scheduled to end in 2032. In terms of production, we've had significant production growth over the past few years, and this highlights, and this will continue to grow as Knobwam comes online and further optimization projects are initiated at our existing operations. This highlights our operational success and strong demand for our products. Our future plans are quite ambitious. At Kwikfontein, we aim to produce at least 480,000 tons per annum of metallurgical concentrate going forward, 18,000 ounces per annum of 4E PGM concentrate. At Moeilik, we aim to continue producing speciality grade and high grade chrome concentrates, and initiate mining optimization and efficiency projects. At Knobwam, we will follow the same co-product business model as at Kwikfontein. Buba is committed to sustainable development, environmental management, and benefiting local communities. We are well positioned for future growth and success.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. You can clap for a chrome producer. Are you a chrome producer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like that now. So tell me, are you put to port? So where does
No,
your
mine
product go?
gate. We mine gate, and
And
then we
then
have
who
a
buys from
trading
you there?
partner. We have an offtake partner who's
And
also a 35% shareholder in our business, and they manage all the logistics post the mine gate
But
for
they
us.
take it to the port
Yeah.
and ships it to China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm catching up. This is a long
Okay.
time since I paid attention.
Okay.
So, the questions fortunately come from people who know a little bit more than me about this. When do you plan to start production at Knobwam, and what reef are you mining there?
So Knobwam's the MG Reef. We've got a 9.5 meter thick package there, so it's
That's
got
a high grade one, if I remember.
Yeah, it is
It's
high
very
grade.
high grade.
Yeah, so in situ's 36%.
Yeah.
We're planning on mining around 32% after dilution. We're starting site establishment now, and we're going to ramp up quite slowly because it's a steep dip. It's 65 degrees, so we're going to strip mine, and we're going to start off with a day shift, and then we're going to, once things are established, we're going to start doing, we'll move to night shift. So for this year, we're planning on mining around 250,000 tons there, just to start off.
Are any of this current murmurings around beneficiation and classifying things to preventing it from just being exported, are you worried about any of the current noise around?
I think there's been a noise for a long time about it, but our ferrochrome industry is suffering, and we are not competitive with Eskom, and we have old technology. We can't compete against the Chinese. So as much as I think government wants us to beneficiate locally, I actually don't think it's possible.
Yeah, some interesting Eskom conversations took place this morning at the Minerals Council. What was the strategy for growing the resources so successfully? So, I mean, it is quite a spectacular story.
Yeah,
What did you do?
So we started off, I mean, it's quite a long story, this. So we started off at Moeilik as an open cast mine, but it had a very short life of mine. So in order to grow the company, we went on, I call it a target generation. But we had a small budget, so we can only afford, call it open cast operations, because underground's too expensive to sink. So we basically, when the chrome price was low, we were hunting for assets, and we managed to pick up a couple assets, and now they're coming to fruition. And we had to, because of our limited budget, we had to pick up unloved assets. But we knew that when we were doing our due diligence that the work wasn't done properly there, and there was a lot of scope for further upside. You know, there were areas where in the project where we knew there was reef. I mean, chrome's quite continuous. It runs a couple 100 kilometers from north to south. So we could fill in the dots.
It's an interesting strategy, no? Buy assets when they're unloved, and you look smart when they become loved. What is the estimated chrome grade sent to the tailings?
Our tailings.
Yeah.
Depending on which mine we're talking about, but less than 10%. Yeah.
And do you
I
have
mean,
any-
I don't. It's confidential. So.
Okay. I'm going to go now new cadastre system and pick those. There was a question about, and is there any opportunity for future scavenging? Would you remine those dumps?
Look, we're going to remine we've been mining and processing at Kwikfontein for a year and a bit, and our PGM plant's only coming up now. So we're going to reprocess our tailings at least there for PGMs, but not for chrome.
Where does your PGMs go?
It's coming online now in June.
So you haven't actually supplied PGMs to anybody yet?
No, I mean, we had some profit sharing agreements in the past, but we've been banking our tailings for a while now.
Sorry, you truly see my ignorance. The questions that sound ignorant are probably from me. Do you have nickel as a byproduct on any of the sites?
No,
Not at all.
no. So, I mean, chrome, I think nickel would come from, call it your base metal reefs like Marinsky or the stuff they're mining in the Northern Limb.
We're running out of time for questions, so catch him afterwards for some of the more detailed questions as well. Let's see how you guys have been rating Jonathan's update for us. This is one of the companies I'm sort of glad I got an update. My goodness, you're all asleep. No, people, come on, wake up. 20 of you are awake. I'm gonna publicly embarrass you. I can tell you who hasn't voted. Okay. Jonathan, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Mr. Miller.
Yes. Okay.
I want you to take me to Côte d'Ivoire and tell me something
Yes,
about
but before that, I want to take you to the Chamber of Mines AGM, where an informant tells me that our Honourable Minister has said that the BEE requirements for prospecting rights was included in the amended bill by mistake.
Shit happens, eh?
So that is the extent to which care was taken in dumping a amended bill on the industry.
And they paid, they paid top legal firms to do that work for them. I want to know who was that.
Yes, yes.
I'm
There are
just
more
saying.
law degrees in the department than there are any others, and they couldn't get that right. So let's hope my informer is correct, but it
Focus.
does not contribute to confidence and trust when you have to undo something that's a matter of days old. Okay, so on that note, we're going to go to Côte d'Ivoire. And I just want to relate, I've obviously been in the industry for longer than I thought, because there was a time when Côte d'Ivoire was not a country that featured in Africa's mining sort of 20 years ago. You didn't consider Côte d'Ivoire. And I remember precisely when, for the first time, I heard of Côte d'Ivoire as a target country for gold, and that was when Randgold Resources and Mark Bristow took his team in there. And you can see it precisely in the S&P Capital IQ exploration budget survey that they do every year. And I had a quick look at the numbers. In 2003, it was less than 5 million rand a year. In 2023, which is the last, I haven't updated my numbers since then, it attracted more exploration than any other country in Africa. And that's an example of the generational change that can come when you introduce a new mining law or new mining regulatory regime that actually attracts investment. It takes a long time, but suddenly you find yourself with 8 operating gold mines, large taxpayers, and Australians talking at conferences in South Africa about Côte d'Ivoire, for which we're very grateful. So that is a remarkable story, but there's a theory that comes out of that. If you look at the West African countries, Ghana, for example, is a very constant standard. It's had fiscal problems of its own, but its mining regulatory regime has been largely constant. It's like the bellwether. It's the unchanging player in West Africa. Of course, before Côte d'Ivoire got popular, Mali got popular. And look where that is now. We're having the government forcibly take over mines. Burkina Faso, similarly, very popular very quickly. The Canadians were in there in a big way, and now that seems to have the wheels coming off. Senegal, fortunately, looks like it's very stable. But I think underlying that is some sort of grand theory of generational change, and it seems that if the World Bank mining codes that were all introduced about 25 years ago are now coming to a point where the politicians who agreed to them then have been replaced by an entirely new generation. And I'm not sure that mining regulation doesn't have a sort of generational cycle. And that we see, for example, our own 2002 MPRDA, we're actually at the point now where if we don't change the way we're going, we're literally going to see the end of our... I mean, if you count the mines that are going to still be around in 15 years' time, you run short of fingers, right? I mean, you don't run short of fingers. So there's something definitely happening there, and we see it again and again. Nationalization in Zambia, 25 years later, privatization. South Africa, what we did in 2002, and now the rumblings of whether that's good for our industry. And we're going through that cycle, and the real countries to target, I suspect, are those that have gone through at least one generational change without changing their mining rights regime. And the two obvious examples there would be Botswana and Ghana. Okay, so that's the only thoughts I really have on Côte d'Ivoire. It's better to get in early, I suspect, like Mark Bristow, but it's probably still early enough in Côte d'Ivoire. But don't put all your money into West African gold mines. To take it further, Kropz in the Western Cape. I have a theory as to why people hate mines. And it's not because they hate mines, it's because they hate mines in the Western Cape. And they hate mines in the Western Cape because there are a huge number of people in the Western Cape who owe their wealth to mines in other parts of Africa.
You are so cynical.
Okay.
Keep on, carry on.
In fact, there are magnificent wine estates producing magnificent wine run by the third generation of families where the coal mines that paid for those wine estates still haven't been rehabilitated and are derelict in KZN. Okay? Likewise, there are landlords, families, 3-4 generations later, who for a sense of purpose become philanthropists and environmentalists and somehow are trying to compensate for how the money was made in the first place. So that is my theory as to why in the Western Cape there's tremendous opposition to mining. And when you look at who is opposing it and look up the family tree, you'll find a mine somewhere. Okay? But then they move to nothing more.
You'll find a hole.
You'll find
Not
a hole.
Not necessarily a mine. Huh?
Yeah, you'll find a hole. And in fact, I mean, it's more common than you think, right? So the sense, it's almost like your money changes, it becomes more virtuous when you move to the Western Cape and you forget where it originally came from. And therefore you target anyone. And I think we've got other examples. The kaolin mines didn't do too well in the Western Cape. There's some poor companies trying to look for gold near Napier. And the people in the Western Cape have melted into a puddle at the very thought. I mean, they haven't even discovered if there is any gold yet. Why shouldn't you develop a responsible gold mine in the Western Cape if you can find one? Why must we have all the mines and pay for all of them? Right? No, nonsense. A further point to be said, it is not at all unusual or unknown for someone to deproclaim a portion of a national park. There's a process for that. Okay? And you can do ecological or environmental offsets. If you want 200 hectares of a national park and you offer them 2,000 hectares of an equivalent, equally environmentally sensitive adjacent area, and you go through Parliament, and Parliament has to vote, by the way, to deproclaim a national park. It's the most protected part of South Africa. There is nothing wrong with that. There's a process for it. It can enhance the environment. So come on, people of the Western Cape, look at where your money came from, okay? Look at who pays for that wine you produce, us up here after this, right? And realize that you can mine responsibly, you can deproclaim a small portion of a national park, and you can enhance the overall national park by massively expanding it elsewhere. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Are we anti-development? Is the Western Cape anti-development? I think you have to have both. We can't just have persistent poverty. Finally, coming to chrome, or coming to actually multi-product mines, mining the MGs. And again, I have to say that the first MG miner in South Africa was the Perulis family. At Teresa, they secured their MGs at Teresa, when they realized that you could extract enough chrome and enough PGMs, if you extracted both, to mine something that nobody else had mined. And they've done that, and now, again, we can ride on coattails. I must remind everyone, it was Impala who thought that chrome was so worthless that they wanted to give it away. you know, and that wasn't very long ago. They were going to do some sort of charitable, philanthropic BE deal with all their chrome resources, only to find that those were quite useful cash flows a little bit later, right? So again, a junior mining entrepreneur pioneered MG mining, and now we've got other junior mining entrepreneurs opening new resources, mining MGs, which I think is fantastic. So that is, I think, all I have to say. I won't be going on my next holiday to the Western Cape.
Paul Muller, thank you very much. I must say, I think it was inspired from Paula and the team to get Paul to come and share some insights. Sometimes he goes all the way back into the history, reminds us of things. And sometimes he just steps into the pile of shit with both feet, because that's Paul Miller. You know what I mean? So you make enemies in the Western Cape, you're a brave man. I mean, you know. But they're going to break away and become their own republic, and then they'll buy the minerals from us, I think, somewhere in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, I guess about 130 people in the venue, some 40 people online, at the end of a 2-day junior conference. If you told me 11 years ago, when Paula asked me to get involved with her in this space, that we could draw a crowd like this to a topic which clearly there's a need to talk about junior mining, but I think we've now not only created a platform, I think I'm very proud of the conversations that take place here. My personal passion in life is to make people have conversations sometimes that are uncomfortable. Pull us out of the comfortable space where around the fire with my braai and my buddies, we all say the same thing to ourselves. Those bubbles are not how we're going to build the country, build the economy, step out of our comfort zone. And junior mining needs a rethink from government. It needs a rethink from capital. It needs a rethink from entrepreneurs. And so I'm very proud of Paula, the team, the platform, and all of your contributions. Are you gutful of my voice? I am. Have I thanked everybody I should? The bloody sponsors, the money people, those names, ENS, here they all are. I really appreciate your money. Next time, just give me more. I especially appreciate every single person who showed up online, in person, contributed to the conversation. Yes, of course, this is a flippant talk shop. Did you see any yellow equipment here? No. So we aren't mining here. But we are having the right conversations. We are challenging the key decision makers to pay attention to junior mining. Today, there were conversations being had in the right places because of what was discussed here yesterday. That's exactly what we achieved. So thank you. Be responsible when you go and join me for a glass of wine. ENS is sponsoring us tonight. The lawyers have made a lot of money, out of me alone, but everybody. So try and sneak a bottle of wine out if you can. Don't get caught. Just consume their sponsorship to the fullest. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.